Hi and welcome again. It's Milan with the Tuning Into the One video series, and today we're going to address a little bit of the differences and the similarities, and when it comes to men, women, relating, dating, mating, and the whole game of relationships from the womb to the tomb. It really comes down to different aspects of the same thing. So we have our differences, clearly. We have our differences in terms of biological plumbing. We have our differences in terms of how we're socialized as men and women. And we also have a difference in terms of the energy streams that we approach from, with, and through, those being of yin and yang. So as such, when we're looking to communicate and connect back and forth, what we kind of intend or want to say or communicate, what ends up coming out of our mouth, or what we communicate verbally and non-verbally, and what's received on the other side and how that's interpreted, when all of those things are aligned, it is really, really, really the essence of understanding, the essence of awareness, the essence of insight. So becoming a better, more effective communicator, learning the differences between verbal and nonverbal. And all of this put together really comes down to one of two roads for all of us, and that's, are we growing more towards love and connection and compatibility and compassion and cooperation and understanding and awareness and empathy, or are we moving away from those things by not having connection, by not seeing the commonalities, by not celebrating the diversity and the differences in terms of variety, seeing the distinctions as something that's not good, something that builds conflict, misunderstanding, and that somehow allows us to go back and forth and communicate and connect from our hurt rather than connecting and communicating from our hearts and our desire to design those win-win pieces. So in a way, when you say I did it, you want to use the did as a D-I-I-D in terms of desire, intention, insight, and design, so the it part is clear in terms of what you want to say, what you end up saying, and what gets heard as being aligned and the same thing. Most of the time, we have a problem with this. That's why when we're listening to a story being told, and retold and retold and retold, all the different filters that we have, our ability to communicate means that we are consciously connecting and consciously communicating from a place of heart-centeredness rather than from hurt. What it also means is, on the other side, we have the active listening. Somebody is actually listening to us, and then we have selective hearing, which has a lot to do with all the different perspectives we've gone through. So how do we make sense of all this, and how do we really have a practical way of putting this into use for ourselves and our lives? Well, simply put, in relationships, you can look at it and ask the questions we did last time, which really reflected, again, back on the Lao Tzu piece, which was, watch your thoughts for they become your words. Watch your words for they become your actions. So your thoughts become your words. Now, if you're accurate and effective and have that ability to take those thoughts and your intentions behind those thoughts and communicate them effectively in terms of words, as well as non-verbally in terms of your gestures, your tonality, your expression on your face, all those things will translate into being able to accurately and effectively, with awareness, with design, with desire, with insight, with intention, communicate exactly what you want to say. And then we want to confirm from the other side, it's what was heard was what was intended to be communicated. Because if we don't, then we start going down this road. So thoughts lead to words, words lead to actions, actions lead to habits, habits build our character, and that character eventually leads us down a road of destiny. Now, is it everything we want it to be? Well, really, when you look at it from a certain perspective, character gets built up through different means, and those means are strife, conflict, and challenges. Our character isn't tested when things are all rosy, peachy, and great. Our character and our characteristics that come to the top really usually are tested through conflict, strife, and challenges in our lives. So we either get to build or break down our character based on the obstacle, the challenge, the barrier, the thing that's in front of us. When we're an athlete, it's all about, overcoming certain things and getting to the top, and having those challenges really help to define us and our character. On the other hand, from communication, you really want to get to a point of clarity. So while conflict builds character, Clarity builds confidence. And so when we have effective communication and we can use that for connection, use that to explore and build compatibility, use that to effectively understand our awareness, our insights, and our intimacy so that we can explode chemistry, recognize it, acknowledge it, keep it in the northern hemisphere while we're building up that connection and that compatibility, and then exploding that southern hemisphere with those features physically and emotionally and psychologically at just the right time, then we can really build on the process of communicating what we want and intend. So our thoughts, our words, and our actions are all aligned. That is big. When we're looking at that, especially where we live in this post-industrial kind of world, first world, our biology, our society, and our energy, those are the other three alignments. So I guess if you're looking to get something practical here, it's are you learning how to say yes and no that's effective, that's clear, that's mindful, and that has a certain level of lacking explosiveness, meaning that you're not really looking to piss people off, you're not really looking to challenge them in a way that's unnecessary. You know, it's kind of like when you're driving. Are you cooperating? Are you letting people in? Nobody can cut you off if you let them in. And so from a communication standpoint, are you able to really effectively say, nobody's doing anything to me, they just might be doing it around me? That's important because, as Miguel Ruiz points out in the 4 agreements, we want to be able to deal with things so we don't take them personally, so we don't abreact, so we don't get defensive and attack back. That is essential to being able to have our thoughts, our words, our intentions, our desires to communicate all lined up. So when you're looking at it practically, is what you want to say, what you end up saying, and what the other person hears or receives the same thing. And those things will come out through an understanding of your biology, how you've been socialized, and the energy you're coming from, yin and yang. So we've covered the yin and yang in previous videos. In this one, we're just going to touch on the society and the biology, and in the next video, we'll cover biology and society in even more depth, because it really comes down to the essence of how we communicate and how we use language. The biology, for guys, it's simple. We may have left the cave, but the cave hasn't really left us. So we use language very, 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 very directly, very literally. And that may not be the case for the gals. So the guys are literal, the gals may not be. The guys are socialized in a certain way and use language in a certain way. Gals are socialized a little bit differently. That's why little boys have a harder time sitting straight and undisturbed and uninterrupted in a classroom, and girls don't. And that's why when we look at the yin and the yang, we want to appreciate our biology, how we were socialized, and how we were taught to use language and communicate with each other, as well as the energy polarities to be able to blend those together. So stay tuned on the next video so we can cover more. So the topics from this video really clearly are 2 groups of 3. One is biology, society, and energy. Biology is male, female. Society is how we're socialized to be men or women or act like boys and girls, good boys, good girls. And energy is the yin and the yang. Those are the 3 pieces. The other piece, when you're communicating and when you're looking to connect, is what I want to say, is what ends up coming out of my mouth, and what I do say, and what the other person receives or hears. Are those the same thing? Are they aligned? Am I effectively communicating so that I can be heard, have a voice, be acknowledged, and most importantly, be understood? So stay tuned, and as always, remember, like us, subscribe to our series, and comment on this video. And if you are looking for Mr. Right and you're ready right now, look below this video and you'll see a link to learn more so you can book your free one-on-one Soulmate Attraction Blueprint session. Now again, I only do a few of these a week. It is first come, first serve, and we are going to be changing the format soon, so get your Soulmate Attraction Blueprint intro session in now for free if you still want to. And if you want to meet Mr. Right now, just go ahead and look below the video and click on the link to learn more. And as always, until the next time, I wish you the greatest dating success and amazing relationship mastery. Bye for now.